Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Stylish Hidden Treasures. My name is Mary and I'm a full-time reseller on both eBay and Poshmark. So today is another video on part of my eBay Back to Basics series. This is 104. What do I need to open my eBay store? So many of you may be brand new resellers or thinking about joining the reselling community, and you want to kind of think about, well, what exactly do I need to purchase? Like, what do I need to have in order for me to get started? So here's some of the things we're going to talk about. You're going to need some basic tools, some good budgeting plan, inventory, basic shipping materials and supplies, good lighting, basic supplies in general, research and education, and vision and direction. All of these things are equally as important when you want to think about purchasing these things for your reselling business. There's not a magic number of how much it's going to cost for this because it all depends on what it is you're selling. If you're a clothing seller, those supplies may be a bit different than if you're someone that sells electronics or art or collectibles. So it kind of depends also on what you're selling. So before you start thinking about what to buy, you got to kind of take a moment and ask yourself, have you done any research and education on what it means to be a reseller, some of the challenges, some of the advantages, some of the things you have to think about in becoming a seller? It sounds easy just to throw something online and then get paid for it. However, there's so much that goes into this. Have you checked out a lot of YouTube videos? There's some great resources and great sellers on YouTube that can kind of point you in the right direction on getting started. Also, do you have a savings or a nest egg or something like that to help you get started? You should not try to go into debt in starting in an eBay store. So what exactly do you want to sell? And that can be, different for everyone. It varies. Knowing what you want to sell is important because then you know where to go and find these things. A lot of us clothing reseller and fashion resellers will go to the Goodwill outlets because the cost of goods is so low. Some of us will buy liquidation and wholesale. Some people go to yard sales. It just really depends on what you want to do as far as selling and where you want to go to find those items. Here's some of the things you might want to consider as far as basic equipment. You need a computer or a laptop. Your smartphone is great for most of the things that you'll do, but sometimes people prefer a camera. You can use natural lighting, which is free, which is simply opening up the window and having wonderful light coming in. But if you don't have that, you may need to invest in a ring light. Or there's also photo editing apps you can use to white out backgrounds and things like that. You'll need a printer or a thermal printer. You'll need paper and a scale to weigh your packages before you ship them to the post office. So what are the basic supplies you should get? These are just basic office supplies that you'll probably use every time you go to ship. You'll need some packing tape, Scotch tape, poly bags of all different sizes, maybe some clear bags, maybe some thank you stickers, some shipping boxes, which are free at the UnitedStatesPostalService.com, measuring tape, lint roller, steamer iron, sweater shaver. All these things are for people that are selling clothes, but your list may be slightly different depending on what it is that you want to sell. Some of these items are also things that you may already have at home, so you won't have to really invest in those items, like for an example, an iron or something like that. Okay, so you're starting off, you have your supplies, you kind of have an idea what you want to do. Well, do you even have a reasonable space to do this? This is something sometimes people don't think about. If you're short on space, if you have an extra bedroom, maybe a den or a basement, just a designated space for you to do your shipping and do your pictures and even store your inventory is important. And then, like mentioned before, a good area where you have good lighting so that you can have your item on a clean white background, either on a wall or on a piece of foam board or something like that. You can use your phone for many functions, but at some point you will need to invest in a desktop or laptop. So at this point you figured out you have the space and you have the supplies. Well, what are you going to sell? I mean, there's many different things you can think about in selling. It kind of depends on what you personally want to sell. At some point, depending on the size of your items and how much growth you have, you may have to invest into a bigger space like a storage locker or a small warehouse. And those are things you can think of down the road, but things to also consider if you decide to grow your business at some point. There's also a lot of free resources like Craigslist and local ads where people are simply giving away stuff for free, which I would advise is a smart move also if you don't have much money to work with in the very beginning. So what budget should you have? I can't give you that magic number. Unfortunately, it's different for everyone. It's based on what you have to work with as far as money. It's based on what you want to sell. And even your growth level. So it really kind of depends on all of those things. You do want to make sure that you do not start using credit cards and maxing them out and getting yourself in debt before you really start making profits too. Anytime you can get free supplies, grab those. It's one less thing you have to pay somebody for. And then you also have to decide, hey, am I going to be a hobby seller or part-time, or do I really want to go at it full-time? Most people would advise you to stay at your job until you have more than enough of a nest egg built up before you start investing in a business. So you mentioned having a budget plan. So yeah, you need to kind of think of, with reselling and the economy and the market, it's sometimes a roller coaster. In the summertime, sales can easily plummet because people are out vacationing and doing things. Your sales may not be normal. Having that nest egg is very, very important when it comes to, sustaining a business. You need to make sure you're never just going from paycheck to paycheck like you would a 9-to-5. You want to have a nest egg to cover any of those additional costs. So you also want to stay on top of the market as far as the trends and the fashion and the things like that. A year ago, certain things were in, now they're not. And so you want to make sure that whatever you're purchasing, it's things that people actually want right now. Sometimes you can get away with it if you're buying vintage things because these are, unique items. But when it comes to fashion and quick fashion and mall fashion and stuff like that, 1 minute it's in, next minute it's out. So stay up to date on the market and the trends and what people are looking for. And don't give up and don't be discouraged. I mean, that's what YouTube is a great resource for us, because a lot of us can go on there and see other people are feeling the same way that we're feeling. And that can help, motivate you and get you through during the slumps and the slow times. So in closing, I just want to make sure that you get everything prepared for your business. You get your supplies, you get your inventory, you get your equipment, but more than anything, just get your head wrapped around exactly what you want to do and accomplish. As long as you write a great business plan and you stick to it and work hard, you will be successful. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.